Hello, welcome. This is Julio Lopez again with a demonstration of how I accomplished and finished the whole project. First of all, I'm going to introduce what is the project about. It's about a data management system or a shipping order, which is a Java-based console with a JavaFX GUI application to manage small packages shipping orders, like e-commerce, Amazon style workflows, etc. This project emphasizes object-oriented design, a layer architecture, and a strong input validation. We're gonna be discussing the multiple layers in gathering of information, like for example, gathering the requirements, also gathering information about how we're gonna implement the project, and also how I plan the testing, and then going through the multiple phases from testing on memory all the way to advancing to the inclusion of the database on the back end. Now the first part is gonna be discuss about how I gathered the requirements for it, especially when defining the objects. For the objects, I have it already here on shipper order that Java, which I had order ID, also customer ID, shipper ID, weight in pounds, distance in miles, shipping cost, which is like the custom value and calculation, the customer name and also the shipper name. Now for the functional requirements, we gonna show how I implement this logic in shipping order manager, where we have the CRUD functions, which includes create, read, update, delete, and also the custom action, which is gonna calculate the shipping order final price. Now for the requirements too, I'm gonna have how I define it was like by having a plan for the data storage. It's gonna be in four phases. The phase one was the logic and validation. The phase two, unit testing. The phase three is the GUI, and the phase four is the database integration. Also, in defining the requirements, I define a UI design where we're gonna have the CRUD functions and buttons located on the UI, and also I included the user stories, and also include the UML class diagram, which in the beginning was let me see if I yeah right here I had these three classes, the shipping order manager on the shipping order, and the main class. It was defined at the beginning, evolved through the time, which I'm gonna show you later though. And the final gathering of requirements was an ER diagram using MySQL, which I'm gonna show you in a second. Yes, I define my parameters here in my tables in the database before even creating the script. And I use my workbench to do this. Pretty much it came in handy to using these tools right here to create the three tables that I needed for the project though. Now, when I went through the implementation plan, I gathered some other information like, I have full support for CRUD operations, also a logic-based shipping cost calculator, a layer structure design for easy scaling to go in database use. And also the system is, which on that time was console-based, but a structure with long-term integration goals in mind. Now in the implementation, I created a diagram, which you can see it right here. So we he had in the beginning these three main classes, which is still functional today, just with some tweaks though. As of right now, it went all the way from this to multi-layer structure, which I'm gonna be showing you in a little bit. But before, I want to explain you the three different classes, you know, and the main, which is gonna, handles the user interaction and input validation. The shipping order manager, it manages the collection of shipping order objects and handles all the CRUD logic using return values too. Right now, and that was in the beginning, so right now is being used to communicate directly with the database, technically for a data input validation too. uh, Shipping order, which in the beginning was, it defines the shipping record, including a customer, shipper weight, and distance. Includes a shipping cost logic. It still is doing it as today. They didn't change uh, um, that much, to be honest, from the beginning. So this is where all the magic happened. Technically, for defining including all the shipping costs in calculating the custom value. Um, Also for the shipping order manager, going back to it, it took me a while integrating the database on this, but yeah, actually this one it changed dramatically from the beginning to when I implemented the database on it. Now also on the implementation plan, I included the activity diagram overview, which I'm gonna open in a second if I can find it. Yeah, it's right here. It should open in any second. There you go. Let me see if I can enlarge it so I can explain a little bit. So yeah, this is the activity diagram overview, which includes a UI layer, a logic layer, and a data layer. So for the UI layer, it had the actions, start, add, update, delete, view order, and so on. Also for the logic layer, it has the authorization check, logic method invoked, also the business validation. And what was the other one? Yeah, for the data layer, you also had the data operation performs the storage or retrieval. Also, the database constraint check simulates enforcing uniqueness or value limits. Also, for the outputs, either data operation success sends confirmation or data operation failure trigger operation. Now, for the GUI and database integration, which is gonna be on phase 3 and phase 4. And the GUI, the system was prepared to transition from a CLI to a JavaFX GUI with the bones for add, update, delete, and view functions. For a table view also option, dialog boxes for user input, error, and confirmation. For the database phase 4, now the memory was replaced for a array list with a persistent secure backend, which gonna be we're gonna be talking in a second. Okay, now that I was done with the implementation plan, then I went to the software testing plan, which I had to create a flow chart that indicates all the testing phases for the logic testing or the future testing. So I'm gonna pull up here my flow chart, which I have in a PDF, save as a SVG file. So it has, three different phases, actually four, which it contains the CRUD functions for add order, another phase testing for updating the order, another one for delete, and the other one for view orders. So we're gonna start by launching the CLI, which the first testing phase is gonna be done through the CLI, and then we're gonna pick an action where you can see right here, the blue one, no, the gray icons, so the gray tabs are for the different actions menu. So, and the red tags are like the error message one, every single step Like for example, the first one is going to ask you for the customer name. If you input the wrong data type, it's going to create error message. So it's going to loop through it until you actually, input the correct data, which is in this case, it's going to expect on a string. For shipping name, also the same thing. It's gonna expect on a string. If you don't do that, like you put a number, for example, it's gonna create an error message. It's gonna loop through it until you get the correct data type and data input. For weight validation too, if you input and a string instead of numeric value, you're gonna be prompted with an error message. It's gonna loop through it until you get it right. Also for the distance, and then once you pass the other at the other phase, I'm gonna go and test the actually it wasn't the pass. I tested the update order test, which included updating order option, and then you were showed or presented with order to update an existing one. And the same thing, you go through a loop validation process, which indicates what you're supposed to enter, whether it's on a string or a text or a numeric value, whatever. It goes through it. Then the third testing is deleting a data input. So it's gonna prompt you to select data. If not selected, it's gonna ask you to select one, and also go through the loop, like does the order exist, and so on, and it's gonna give you the error message if you don't do it correctly. And the final test is it was done using view the orders, where when you view the order, you can go back and review if the deletion or the update was successfully changed on the data sample. So and that's it. After that, that was the end of the logic testing using the CLI. Now I'm gonna show you how I went from this all the way to this. What a change, right? From the training classes through all these layers, multiple layers. So let me see if I can zoom in and summarize everything that I added, especially all these pages here, multiple classes. So once I added I had only the shipping order management manager. Uh, so when I went through the logic testing, there wasn't that much change. Actually, I put on the console main, which is, let me open it. So on the console main is what I use for my logic testing, which is right here. So it displayed the menu, as you can see right here, and then goes all through all the validation. And that was phase one, actually, you know. And then after that, I went to the next phase, which was JUnit test, which I implemented, you know, and added a JUnit right here in the library, and created another Java class called shipping order management test, and also shipping order test, which I used to for JUnit testing. And then after I did that, though, I went through what was the through a whole testing validation, and quality of coding and data and debugging. Okay, now before I get to all of these, how I got here, I gotta explain how I created the database. Remember the ER diagram that I was talking earlier? So I just gonna go back here to my workbench and go to the ER diagram. So I took the ER diagram, created the script, and forward engineer the script from here. Once I had the script, I went back, and pasted here, as you can see. So it was like magic, created from the ER diagram. and then I went go ahead and also added uh, the example data, which is right here, um, to be populate the tables, and once that was done, I want to make sure everything was populated. I got these queries in place. First of all, I use the shipping DMS selected since I have multiple tables on the left, and then I went and select when I see the customer table, which it was popular like you see here. So then I went to the shipper table, and that's was populated too. And my final table, which was shipping order, I double check and everything was populated. So my data sample is there. And then I joined the three tables exactly with what I want to see, on the GUI, on the JavaFX GUI, which is these columns. So which order ID, customer name, shipper name, weight in pounds, distance, and shipping cost. It's gonna be clean up and everything, but these actually the columns that I wanna see, on the GUI, which I wanna be showing you in a moment. Okay, let me just put this down. Okay, after I did that, then I wanted a test, right? Using my CRUD test right here. In here, I created a EMB file where you have my database credential store. And, I use the testing, make sure, I was able to update, delete from, and create, that way when I use the CRUD functions, I wouldn't have a problem. So that's how I created this testing. Then after that, I created the Java class connector manager, which it managed all the connection. Also, I created another page for the GUI. The main is the one that connects to the table, the main view, and the login view is the one that gets all the credential to get in. So I also added the CSS styling on it, and all the other functions, database helper, customer, and so on. I mean, if I go through all of it, we probably won't finish tonight, but yeah, this is actually an overview of everything, so main is right here. It's not attached to anything since it's managing only the main view of the UI up front. So now for the fun part, we're gonna deploy and see how it goes and show you what it can do, and a demo of the product. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the main Java class to deploy or start the app. Let's run it. Okay, there you go. All right, I just gonna post the video, and I'll be right back once I input all my credentials. Okay, I'm connected. I input my credentials, so this is technically the main view right here, and the login view was what I input my credentials. You can see though. So let me just put this bigger so you can have a better view of the table. So let me see if I can put them side by side. And there's some data here that I already recalculated, because when I input all the data sample to the database, it reflected different prices, because I don't know, it looks like my workbench or my SQL it calculates things a little bit differently. I try to match it up, but the good thing is that when I make a change here, it changes on the database. So what I'm gonna find out now is, what I have um, already run through on the testing, and I'm gonna find which one is not updated yet on the database. So we're gonna go back to it. Let me open it real quick. All right. Let's see, put it side by side. Let me put this a little bit more smaller so I can put on the top. Okay, the first one is 132, everything matches. The second one is 543, also that one matches. The third one, which is John Smith, is it right here, 50, 200, and 100. So it doesn't match the data that I have here on the GUI. Now what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna try to update it to see if it changes. But first of all, I'm gonna go through all the CRUD functions so we can test it out one by one. So, but you had the idea of how I've been updating it and make sure everything matching everything. So you have the general idea. But we're gonna go through the CRUD functions real quick before we do the update to have the proper data on the database though. So let's try to add a order and see what happens. Let's do some testing. Add an order. This is my pop-up window. All right, we're gonna on purpose input the wrong data type to see if we actually recognize input the wrong data. Since this customer name is expecting a string, so I'm gonna add a number, see what happens. Okay, I don't know why it goes right here, but anyways, yes, yeah, it went through, test pass. The other one is cause let's see, strings and numbers, see what happened. Okay, only letters and single space allowed. Okay, that pass. I also set a limit of 30 characters. Let's use a string, but a lot of strings, like 50 maybe. See if it goes through. No, it's telling you name must be between 30, fewer than 30 characters. Perfect. That's what I want. So let's input my name, Julio Lopez. Okay, it went to the other step, which is adding the shipper. Let's do the same thing. Numbers and strings. No, on letters. Now I can cancel at any time too, and you just cancel out and give me a warning here. Let's see if I cancel. You see cancel here. I can go back again, from the beginning, at any time. So Julio Lopez. All right, shipper name. More than 30 characters. See what happened. Now it's prompting me to, the reason why it's going all the way off over there because I'm using only half of the screen. So I have another half of the screen on the other side. That's why it's going over there. But anyways, so, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna pass. Let me use a combination of strings and numbers. Also invalid input data. Perfect. Let's use proper shipper name. I don't know, gateway Inc. Yeah, it went through. Now here expecting a numeric value. So I'm gonna go the opposite strings. See what happened. It must be numeric. Okay, let's try numeric, but a negative number. Okay, it's telling you that it must be between 1 and 150. Okay, let's try. Jesus, this is annoying. It's going over there because I had the other half of the screen. Okay, over 150 pounds. Yeah, it's telling me that it must be between 1 and 150 pounds. Okay, let's put 145. Okay, same thing with the miles. It's the same logic. Just gonna go through it. Let's put yeah, real quick, strings. No, let's try a negative number. No, it must be between 1,001 and 3,000 miles. Okay, let's go 3,001. Okay, it's telling you the same thing. Perfect. Let's go with 1,800 miles. There you go. Order added. We can see it here on the order ID 24 Julio Lopez Gateway Inc. 145 1,800 miles. The total price is gonna be 391.50. So let's try to delete the order. Oh no, hold on. Let's go back to the database to see if it was added there too, because I want to make sure it was updated there too. Let me put this to the side and let's refresh this, see what happens. There you go, Julio Lopez, Gateway 145, 1,800 and 391 with 50 cents. Let's see if I had the same price. Wish I should have it though. Yep, Julio Lopez, Gateway 145, 1,800 miles, 391. Perfect. Okay, the only thing that doesn't match is that you have one digit place after on the database and two digit place digital uh, places after that on the GUI. Okay, now what's next? We're gonna try to delete one, see if we update also on the database. Let's pick Wilson Alameda. See what happens. Okay, Wilson Alameda. Delete the order. Okay, now here is telling you, are you sure you want to delete this order? So you just a precaution, a security measure. Because human makes mistakes. Sometimes you hit the wrong button and then you delete it and then what? So that's why I put the one in there. So cancel if you're not sure, and okay if you're sure. Let's delete it. Wilson, it was yeah, already deleted. It was 22 Wilson. Now it's still showing in here. Let's refresh this to see if it disappears. Okay, so it should disappear, which is order 22. Let's again refresh this, and Wilson is not there anymore. Perfect. Now, this is what I wanna also do, what I discussed in the beginning. We're gonna try to update something that is not the same in the GUI and also on the database. I believe we discussed doing some changes on Emily. Yes, because it's showing here the price is different. I thought I can try Dave also. How about we do both of them? Because the only one. All right, so Maria Garcia, actually most of them. So let's update Maria Garcia, and it has the same way in distance, but I wanted to have the correct information, which is this is wrong. This is not correct. So you should have this is information you should have. Let's see if we can update it with the same information. So now something that I didn't test before is that if you don't select any of these orders, right? It lets you know that listen, like right here, select an order to update. You didn't select anything. Delete an order, neither. You see what I'm saying? So it's give you it's letting you know that you're not selecting any data. So let's try to update first Maria Garcia with the same information to see if this one changes from 3553 to 473. Okay, update the order. Let's put the same way, 10.5. Enter. And for the mileage, we're gonna input the same mileage, which is 300. Enter. Now let's refresh it here, see if it changes. Uh-oh. And there you go. And now let me get my the GUI back because I just lost it. But we can see right here it changes to 473. Let me see where's it should be here. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna pause the video and be right back. Okay, found it. It was hiding on the back somewhere. Okay, let's compare. Yeah, we have the same way. There you go. That's exactly how I want it. Now let's update the second one, because I might be lucky with the first one. Let's see if I'm look. If it does the same with the second one, that means working. I always want to test 2 or 3 times at least. But for today's day, I don't want to make the video so long. We're just gonna do the second testing. So update order. see, we didn't pick anything, so it's giving me the message right here. Let's do Dave, which is 290, and here Dave Johnson is showing the price for 232, and it's showing here it should be 290. So it's actually lower on the database. So let's change it. Update order. Um, the weight is 88, and the mileage is 2200. So it's still the same here. Now let's see if it updates on the database. Okay, perfect. Nice. Okay, I think it passed all the tests. What I haven't done yet, update order, delete the order. We have done most of it. Yeah, okay. Let me close this right here. With the reflection, um, yeah, I learned a lot here, from using IntelliJ, which I was using before, but I still like it, Visual Code. But IntelliJ is like, it opened my eyes, and I tried multiple, you know, tools like, Eclipse and others, and, you know, uh IntelliJ actually, I like it a lot. I was skeptical in the beginning, you know but I think these two, Visual Code and IntelliJ, is these are two tools that I'm gonna be using probably on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, for my future projects, especially when implementing the SDLC, or software development life cycle. I learned a lot through that. These are like different phases, the implementation, the requirements, uh you know and also designing the testing, the logic testing, the JUnit testing, which my favorite was like the JUnit testing. I love it. I love it. I think I'm gonna be utilizing that testing really often, though. Really often. Probably for another projects, like also for React, which I work a lot with React apps. So that comes really handy, though. Um yeah, I think the biggest challenge that I had was implementing database, especially the credentials, and going to the queries. I mean, like, I had to do a lot of testing. I mean, JUnit and also the logic testing was nothing compared with that. The validation process was a piece of cake, to be honest. But yeah, the inclusion of the database, uh, I mean, it's a learning process. I learned a lot, just like when I was doing AWS and was working with RDS in the past. It took me a while, and then I just do with my eyes closed. I'm pretty sure this one, when I do in future projects, I'm gonna get better on it. But yeah, it was a great learning experience, going through all of this. Yeah, but I think that was the biggest challenge that I went through. Especially with their credentials. Like, it was a little bit hassle to, when I created the jar files, and adding the path on it. It's a kind of different, because, and that's something that I miss about, I like about VS Code versus IntelliJ, is that VS Code, the library handling is a little bit easier. You don't have to do this manual integration of the libraries. But to be honest, I think IntelliJ is more robust once you get it right. I think it have a better based Visual Code, so I'm gonna be using this tool more often, alongside VS Code, because they both have their advantages. Uh, but yeah, I learned a lot working with. I did Java in the past, but this learning process through Java, I really dig really deep into the Java object orientation, and the different classes. Like, I can say, like, from all the classes that I took before, this is a project that really got me the deep into Java. I would say so. Yeah, like really deep. Like right now, I feel confident that I can go and utilize more Java in the future, especially when creating applications like this one. Because to be honest, I was skeptical. I'm used to doing web browser apps using React and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, especially with the GUI, with the UI, and all of that. I love, once I noticed I can use CSS styling, which, I was like, yeah, don't get me wrong. I like the back end better. I don't want to be on the front end, but I'm good on the front end. And something I enjoy with the front end is the CSS styling, which I was able to apply on this project, and it came out really, 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 really nice. But okay, that's a wrap up. I won't make it any longer, and make sure to give me a like, subscribe if you can, visit my webpage to lopezbayo.com, and you can contact me, search my gaming through my social media, and you can send me an email too if you have any interesting projects going on. I love doing different stuff, so get me on board, and if I like the project, I'll be in. Okay, all right, that's a wrap. Have a good night.